3, 2. It's movie time, and we're back again with movie time. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Hopefully, all is going well. And welcome back to a Wednesday movie time. And happy Thanksgiving early to everybody who is celebrating, from one Canarican to all Americans. And with me tonight is my co-host Olaf. Hey, Olaf, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's been another great day in the great state of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for tomorrow because I'm thankful for the meal that I'm going to have. All the food.
Nice. And also tonight with us is my co-host Arpo. Hey, Arpo, how you doing?
Toast of chocolate milk for Thanksgiving. Yes, indeed. Today, Donald Trump not one but 2 turkeys.
Yay!
And then revoked the pardons on all the turkeys that Obama did.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
So somebody's playing a big game somewhere.
Yeah. Big meals are going to happen in this city. But yes, this is our thankful episode tonight on Movie Time. It's like we're keeping it a little light today. So let's start with you, Olaf. What would you say the story that you'd be most thankful for this year?
There's been so many. I'd say it'd have to be the most recent stuff of the movie production software series.
So Production Next?
Production Next, yeah.
You're thankful for Production Next. What about Production Next are you most thankful for?
So that they made it.
Cool. So thank you, Ben Yenny. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. It's been in his team. It's just awesome.
Very cool. So, Arvo, start off with you. What is the one thing that you're saying that you're thankful for?
Okay. In terms of story, I mean, I'm thankful for different things. I'll do stories now later on to get into the guests we've been most thankful to talk to.
Exactly. This is particularly, the one thing that highlights it for the year.
Harvey Weinstein finally getting his due.
So you're thankful for sexual harassment.
Secret in Hollywood. How he has treated women over the years. And it's finally catching up to him. Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's like which is great. And more to come on that too.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess that you can add thank you Louis C.K. You can add thank you Kevin Spacey. It's like the list goes on and on. It seems like every single day.
And especially thank you Corey Feldman.
Yes. Thank you very much, Corey Feldman, for finally coming out with the names of some of the people. Even though you haven't actually spit them out yet. I thank you for finally being brave enough to do it.
He's been a child star long enough, and he's, pardon the expression, finally grown some ball.
Yes. Well, sometimes it takes many years to face the attacker.
It does. It's very difficult. It's like that story I sent you. Did you see that story I sent you?
Yeah. I have yet to get through it because I'm like,
I know.
It's almost as bad as that one that you sent me that was sent regarding the parent who was selling all of their 11 children.
Yeah.
a 2-month-old, saying
I
that.
think my favorite, okay, just people know what we're talking about. There's a girl in Tennessee. She had been trafficked as a child, forced into a life of sex and drugs. When she was 16, she was sold to a pedophile, 43-year-old man. And when he started making demands of her, she managed to get her hands on a gun, and she killed him. And she got arrested for prostitution and murder and sentenced to life. She was tried as an adult, even though she was only 16. She has been in prison for 13 years for something that, did she kill the man? Yes. Was it her fault? No. It was her trying to get out of this life she'd been living for, I don't know how long, but a good 6 or 7 years. And I really think we need to get Kathy down there to
She needs to get
help
out
her out.
because it's justifiable homicide. That was not something that was a manslaughter or murder. She was shafted on that.
And I have to hunt down the person who made the comment on that article. Someone had said, well, she killed the guy. She shot him in the back of the head, probably while he was sleeping. She should be in prison. And someone said, well, what if it was your daughter? And he said, being my daughter has nothing to do with it. I suppose next you're going to say that it's all right for every prostitute under 18 in Los Angeles to kill their paying clients. And I'm thinking to myself, are you reading what you're writing? What kind of a freaking idiot are you?
Some people are that kind of malicious. Those are not the people we are thankful for.
I cannot deal with mentalities like that. This is how serial killers are born, ladies and gentlemen, when they just can't deal with the stupidity anymore.
Well, and you have somebody like that answers back to that comments on that post or that article, and they're writing this stuff, and they think they're championing the cause, and they don't realize till later that it's just they're being stupid.
Mm-hmm. And there are, though, unfortunately, those people who it's like are on the other side of that argument, that it's like they sit there and go, well, it's an alternative lifestyle. It's not an alternative lifestyle. It's something that's sickening. It needs to be stopped.
Well, it is an alternative lifestyle, but it's not a lifestyle that the person chose. Somebody chose it for them.
Yeah. But the whole thing is that it's like, again, it's one of those things of there was an article that we had also recently had posted on the website regarding a mother who was selling her children in regards to that, and their cousins, 11 children that were in her care, and she was caught in a bust talking about the 2-month-old, that they'll allow that somebody to basically have sex with the 2-month-old.
Yeah.
It's disturbing, the tape, when you hear it. I'm like, oh my god.
Chocolate milk. Hey, I did lose my chocolate milk.
Yeah. So one of the things, though, that I will say, though, that I am thankful for, I am thankful very much also for all the wonderful people at the AFM this year who have been amazing people that had welcomed us with open arms every single year to be in their official press people, as well as also treating us really, really super nicely. It's like they really have been wonderful sets of people. So if I have to go with that, that would be my thankful.
Cool.
Good. Awesome.
Yep.
Take
Every
out
single.
one other thing that I'm thankful for
Mm-hmm.
is the last what, 4 years
Mm-hmm.
with you. And the
Yep.
last year with you and Richard.
Indeed. I'm thankful for you both, and also thankful for the wonderful team that we are. Pulling each other up every single week.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. We'll play Mutual Admiration Society for a moment. Say yes. I am very thankful to Kente, actually, because he's the guy who dragged me onto the show, kicking and screaming, and then I went, oh, no, this is an intelligent film show. I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I have to. I need to go back and thank Kente also because he's the one that got me started in podcasting in the beginning.
Yeah. We all have to thank Kente.
Yeah.
So, but I'm also very thankful for the two of you putting up with me. I know I'm not easy.
Hey, we all light up each other's lives.
Right. Well, I'm not. It's like I'm not easy either. Or I'm not. You know, it's like I'm not easy, but I'm cheap.
Yeah, it's like I'm also thankful that we get to be stalked on multiple channels now. 17 of them. All 17 people who pick us up.
Woohoo.
Including Production Next. And also all of the other places as well. And that we are translated into Chinese, Japanese, German, Spanish. And what was the other one that we're translated into?
Chinese, wasn't it?
Yes.
Japanese, Chinese.
So
I'm gonna have to listen to all the shows just to see what we sound like.
Oh, and yeah, so it's like, and French, I believe, also went as well. I'd like to know what I sound like in French because obviously they'd be able to pronounce my name.
Yes.
I want to know what we sound like in Chinese.
Or Great Khan Theater.
Yeah, it's. I'd like to know what we sound like in Chinese. So if anybody who listens to the channel in China would like to send that to us, I'm really curious. Which brings me also a thank you also to all of you listeners as well who keep joining us on these various podcasting stations.
Yes, who keep letting us invade your lives week after week. We love it.
Yeah, it's like all 26,000 plus of you. And please keep sharing. Keep telling us that you're fans of Movietime. The more and more that you tell us, the more and more that we'll keep announcing you on the radio show. It's like, and we'll keep doing more and more stuff. It's just let us know the stuff that you want to hear. Have to also say in terms of that, it's like I have to also say thank you as well to, you know, all of the things from indie radio, iHeartRadio, you know, all of the shows who've carried us. Spreaker.
Huge thank you to all of our guests who come on and help to enlighten us and educate us in the art of making art.
Yeah. In the real business of film, the stuff that you don't get to hear as an everyday thing. They are the backbone of our show.
Right. And when they come on our show, they don't know what to expect. But I'm thankful that they were comfortable enough that maybe they thought they'd do 15 or 20 minutes. An hour and a half later, they're going, "Oh, I wish we had more time."
Yep. Or with Michael Gianfrido, where we had a nice 3.5-hour conversation.
Yes.
That's always amazing.
He's an amazing human being. Very generous and giving.
That he is. And it helped my drive to be able to chat with him while I was driving.
Nice. So you got double pieces of information.
Yeah, it made the time pass so fast.
Well, because he's a very interesting guest, along with all of our other guests, like Corky Kessler, who was on last week. Wow.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Great fun. So who's been your favorite guest this year? Olaf.
Wow.
Yes, pick a favorite child.
Yes.
That's hard to do.
This is like the bar game. You have to pick one or the other. You can't say all of them.
Although I will.
I'm afraid I pick one, and the rest of them are going to get mad at me. So I'm like,
If you pick just one, you'll be fired.
Or you just use the publicity thing that everybody says. It's like, how, which one is your favorite genre of film? It's like, really, I have to pick just one. That's like picking a favorite child.
Right. I don't know. I might have a hard time narrowed into one.
Well, let me rephrase it. Instead of saying your favorite. Which of our guests do you feel you got the most out of, in terms of knowledge or whatever?
Well, that doesn't narrow it much. But that Michael Gianfrido because we've talked to him 3 times and long times, and just full of all kinds of information. So I'm gonna go with Michael Gianfrido.
Cool.
Okay.
So, Arpo, who is your favorite love child? The one you got
it's kind of a tie because it was 2 totally different things. First of all, Sid Haig, because he gave us a look of the business side of Hollywood from the point of view of an actor. And that was something really different to do. But the other one, I would absolutely have to say Catherine Swan, because thanks to her coming on the show, look where we are today.
Yeah, we are definitely all together and stuff like that.
That's true.
Yeah, she has been a wonderful guest and a glue. It's like it's one of those things of that synergy. It's like, for me, I can't pick a guest because they all do so many wonderful things. It's like Steve Mangal, who gave us everything to deal with, guarantors that we had no idea, because it was the first time we had ever heard from a guarantor what it was all about. To Corky, who gave us extremely great legal advice, to Catherine, who gave us great information, to Michael, Gianfrido, to all of our guests have been like incredibly amazing. Ben Yenny, who showed us all of that stuff in regards to production next. Oh gosh, like I said, if I had to go through the year of everything and all of the guests, it's like, honest to goodness, there isn't a way to pick. Everybody is so informative.
I only pick because you guys made me.
Exactly.
Not to mention, who was it? Who was the woman that was being haunted? Wrote the book, the interview.
Yeah.
Margaret. The plants off of me.
Yes.
What an amazing, remarkable story.
Absolutely.
Those are the kinds of episodes that really stand out in your mind because they're so unusual. That's why I said Sid Haig.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
Sid Haig was amazing too.
Different view. Sid Haig's wonderful. As Olaf knows, times that we have.
Yeah, it's like I had the opportunity to interview him at a convention. Face to face, and just an amazing interview.
Yeah, it's like the man is just brilliant. So I mean, honestly, it's like, so now let me ask both Olaf and Arpo, which one of the topic shows has been the most fascinating for you guys?
Let's see, which one was the one you weren't here for? Just kidding.
Hey, that's
the fishing one that Olaf and I did together because you were out of town or at a wedding or something. But we did ourselves with the fishing. It was great fun. It was, I hope, very educational, and just a real joy to do. And I'm actually sorry that you weren't here for it because I think you would have brought much more to the table than we did.
Yeah, I'm going to go along with him because that's like I think that the show where the monkeys run the show, I think that's got to be probably the topic and show wise. That's probably my favorite because it did go over very well. I think it was good.
I definitely found it interesting on the playback. Absolutely, that episode, and I encourage everybody to watch all the different episodes, of course. And it's like, yes, unfortunately at the time, I believe that I was on the not feeling well or something that, or was away at an event that it is possible. Gosh, it's like world is like topsy-turvy upside down.
It was the week you went to Chicago.
Correct.
To meet with the Angels.
Correct, with the Media Angels.
Yes.
Right. Which was a very positive meeting. So I have to admit that was its own joy and adventure, too. It's like being able to do that, meet with the Media Angels, get all the information from them. It's like, and again, we will be speaking with Ted Riley and the Chicago Media Angels as soon as we can.
Yes.
Make them available. Also, Jonathan Bross was a great episode too.
Yeah.
Talking about post-production, which again, it's like we didn't have. He's our very first post-productioner that we had a chance to talk with.
Not to mention all of the episodes from the spooky old cabin.
Yes. Now, that cabin in the woods was rather interesting. I have to admit, if you ever saw the movie My Cousin Vinny, it really did remind me of that movie. Every morning being woken up at 6 a.m. to construction.
Yeah.
Or the garbage truck.
Yes, they picked a fine week to repave the road.
Yes.
I was lucky. I was there on the weekend. No construction.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were very fortunate. It's like, can you imagine at 6 a.m. going? It's like, oh my god.
But see, now I would sleep through that.
Oh, that Grayson and I talking to each other, trying to pretend like we're not 10 feet apart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, my favorite one was like at one point in time I was really going to go out there and like just start yelling at them, and it's like Arpel's like, no, don't do it, I'll block the door.
I did offer to lay down in front of the machine and say,
yes. Yeah, it's like, we're trying to podcast here, man. But yeah, it's like those good times. It's like, honestly, in terms of, there's quite a few topics, but I honestly have to say our show of telling people to say it out loud has been very effective.
yes.
Our episode when we told them to name the names, because look at what's been happening since.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks later that Weinstein first called out.
Yep. The Name the Names episode.
Yep.
And Corey Feldman has finally decided to name the names, and even though right now,
probably, but maybe.
Yep.
Or the time I mentioned petition to save the National Endowment of the Arts.
Yep.
It went from 7,600 signatures one Friday to the following Friday over 100,000.
Yep. And that's the power of the audience and hearing it. And also, I do encourage you guys all to share the episodes as well. It's like, if you do find something that's very interesting, absolutely go ahead, share it with your friends and those who you know. While we're in the moment, shall we name some of the last 4 weeks of people and talk about them a little bit that unfortunately are not with us?
Ah, yes. I'm sure everyone is wondering right now that David Cassidy passed away last night.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting him on one occasion. He was extremely kind, extremely friendly, and I have to say this, extremely short. He always looks so much taller on television.
That's because Shirley Jones is short.
He's about 5'1".
I know, they look so much taller on TV.
But he was the perennial teenager.
It's like, anybody who knows him would know him from the Partridge Family. I knew him from Blood Brothers. He and Sean Cassidy and Amy Skye did Blood Brothers in Toronto and did a fabulous performance.
And the time that I met him, he was doing a road tour of Little Johnny Jones, which is a George M. Cohan musical. Has famous songs in it like Yankee Doodle Dandy and Give My Regards to Broadway. And I want to tell you something. We all know David Cassidy could sing. He could dance. He could tap dance up a storm. I was so impressed with what he did on that stage that night.
Yeah, it's a great tragedy that we've lost him. And for all of those who, it's like, you know, and unfortunately it was a very hard one to deal with.
Yes.
Our second one on the list is Della Reese, that wonderful lady from Touched by an Angel. And really, she was beautifully angelic to work with. I had a chance to work with her a while back. And she really is. And that is wonderful, a nice person. It's like, that is a very sad thing that she's gone.
And a very fine soul singer, too.
Very much so. Again, somebody whose talent was just beyond, beautiful as a human being.
Definitely two very sad losses. They will be missed.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we also lost the guitarist from AC/DC. And for all of us who are huge hard rock fans, that is a tragic loss.
Yeah,
It's like
I don't know.
But rock on, man. Rock on.
Yep.
You joined Jerry Garcia up there, man. Two of you together can rock out. And unfortunately,
we have a tragedy which just hit close to home.
Don't miss that.
Yep.
One that will probably come as a shock to our regular listeners. WC is gone. He took one final header off the end table, and all that was left was the genuine Peakwood face.
He shattered into a million pieces.
It's just oh man, it's hard. As much as he annoyed me, he will be missed.
He was your bud.
I know. He was the guy I trusted to keep an eye on things when I was in Chicago and Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. And he will be missed.
Yes.
And we have one, though, that I'm not sure what people will have in terms of reaction for it, of a final passing that we have to put as a note on there for all of you. Charles Manson passed away 2 days ago, and I'm not sure whether you go woohoo and celebrate, or you can go, oh, because he was a human being, and had it not been for the fact he was somewhat psychotic as a human being, he might have been a musician. And we'd be speaking about him in a totally different way if he wasn't so mentally deranged.
He did have a brilliant mind, and of course, they always say that a thin line between genius and madness.
Yep.
And he did cross that line. But
more than once.
I don't know that I would say crossed the line, but he sure did dance right on it.
Yeah. And man, like I said, whether you like him or hate him, he was a human being. He did pass. And I suppose I can say in that sense, for people, maybe justice have been done in some ways, and for others, I'm so sorry for his offspring and family.
Well,
I guess.
I certainly justice has been done, not only for Sharon Tate, but for all the innocent people who were slaughtered.
Yeah.
And it was only his insanity that kept him from getting the death penalty.
Yeah. It's like it's for the same way when one of his followers passed. As I said, half of me was going woohoo, and the other half was going, but yet at the same time they were a person.
Yeah. And don't worry, Mom and Dad. You can still tell your kids, stop doing those drugs or you'll end up like Charles Manson.
Yep.
Because the man did do a lot of drugs. That could be what broke him over the edge. We'll never know. Because by the time he came under the radar, he was already so far gone.
Yeah. Also, we have to say goodbye to Earl Hyman as well. He was the one who was the grandfather on the Cosby Show.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on a movie that I had done a long time ago. That was in Toronto when I AD'd, and yeah, Earl Hyman just passed away at 91. A good long life, but at the same time, it's like, again, for him, I truly do say I am sorry. And
by the way, I just want to say this now, and I'm not planning on going anytime soon. But when I do expect you to do an entire episode.
I will. By the way, one of your country legends, Mel Tillis, died as well.
Mel Tillis? Oh, man.
Mel Tillis.
People always used to think that was an act.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. He really did have a horrible stutter. But and this is something that I learned after my TIA. Because after my TIA, I could barely get a word out. I was stuttering so bad. And they said, if you sing it, you won't stutter.
Interesting.
It's something in the brain that if you're singing, it'll come out straight. You won't stutter.
Yeah.
And that's why he was able to be such a great singer. But he could barely talk with his stutter.
So that is another tragedy. And also Three's Company actress and Ed Wedgeworth passed away also this week. And Malcolm Young was the guitarist, by the way, and co-founder of AC/DC. So, sorry for saying that there were 4.
Everybody's leaving us.
Well, it's like, you know what? We had to give that little bit of a segment for all of you who do follow the news. Now, there is also, on a good side, during the Tribeca Film Festival, they are having a global film finance symposium coming up. So we will see what we can see about the Tribeca Film Festival, which will be very interesting to see who will now be leading the Tribeca Film Festival now that Kevin Spacey has had these issues. Because he was a huge influencer on Tribeca.
Well, I'm hoping that De Niro and Scorsese, who really started the Tribeca Film Festival, will come back to pull it over for a year till they find a new person. And you have all frozen up, and you probably haven't heard a single word I've said. Me.
But I heard you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Sorry, had Robert De Niro do that. It's like Robert De Niro hopefully will take over for Tribeca, yes. The festival will go on.
Yeah. So they can find another person to run.
Yeah. And let's hope that they do very quickly. And I'm sure it will recover. Much like the Louisiana one that's coming up as well. There's and then there's Sundance that's coming up very soon. So there's quite a few people who we are actually going to be talking about. It's like one of the interesting articles that have come up also as of late is the fact that Jeremy Piven on the Hollywood sex scandals careers are being destroyed based on mere allegations. Well, one of the things that were brought up the other day on Bill Maher is it's better to believe everybody and to find out it's not true than not to believe everybody and have it be true.
I suppose there is some logic to that, but by the same token, by believing everybody, and if it's not true, then you've destroyed somebody's life and or career.
I would go halfway in between that. I'd say believe the person, but you know what? Reserve rights of punishment until it's proven.
Yeah.
Every person should be believed and should have their story told out loud, but at the same time, reserve judgment on whether it's true or not true until the evidence comes forward.
Yes.
The evidentiary proof of condemning them to begin with. With Harvey Weinstein, it's clearly, not just smoke and mirrors.
No. When that many people come forward, you have to figure at least 20% are telling the truth,
if not more.
if not more.
Yes. But when you're looking at something like, for example, with Louis C.K. or any of the other ones, it's like, whether it's true or not, or right now Nick Carter, I think that it is, that was just accused by another singer. It's like, look, you have to understand whether it's true or not true. It remains to be seen. Right now, there is also a lot of false accusing as well as also a lot of legitimate accusing. And thank God that they're all coming out now, because you know what? It's now the bravery to be able to do so. And like I said, I will tend to believe them, but also I want to see evidentiary proof before I start condemning the person that they're accusing. Or I'd like to know evidentiary proof before going, oh my God, well, they should be like pulling that person off of the air and stuff like that. It's like where somebody like a Harvey Weinstein, unfortunately, it's like he's not even, remotely apologetic for his behavior. Or, some of the others that have been accused. It's like they're not apologetic for their behavior. Some, it may actually be a case of we might need to look at it a little closer and reserve some judgment.
Indeed.
So, again, it's not a matter of playing favorites. It's not a matter of playing sides. So if that's what you were thinking is, oh, is she playing sides on this? No. Because I believe that people should have the opportunity to present both sides of the story. And it's like, I'm not saying that these people are falsely accusing either, because no, they're not. They legitimately believe that this happened to them.
Yeah.
But what it does is, like I said, it's remaining to be seen until there's 100% evidentiary proof before we start, condemning them and going, oh my God, we should take them off the air. Oh my God, their show should be canceled. All of their deals need to be canceled right away, right now, because then what we are technically doing is a version of a witch hunt.
Yeah.
Unless it's an irrefutable thing, like irrefutable proof. Like I said, like in the case of Weinstein.
By the same token, we really haven't had a good witch hunt since the 70s. So.
True. And I'm not saying that, legitimately that these people didn't do what they did. I'm sure that they did. Or didn't. But again, it's the belief system of whether they did or didn't. Let's sort it out in the legal system. Or let's sort it out by understanding the story that goes behind it before we start, and as I said, I'm not saying don't, what I'm saying is reserve judgment until then. Don't think that they're not guilty. Don't think that they are guilty. Let's reserve their judgment until, but if, mind you, 30, 40, like 10, 15 women, 5, 10 women are accusing the exact same person. One person accusing you, you might go, okay, you would go that there's smoke.
Yeah.
If you are a legitimate person, you'll go, okay, there's smoke. Maybe there's needs to be 5 people accusing you. It's sounding like a duck. When more than 5 people have accused you, it is a duck.
Yeah.
Especially when they're all independent sources, they're not speaking to one another. You know, they didn't all sit there in the room and go, "Ooh, who can we convict this week?"
I said before, and I'll say it again, I think this is just a move by women to take over Hollywood.
And that's okay.
And you're fine with that.
I'm totally good with that. It's like, this is another thing that we've also talked about, is women being long overdue in this industry towards getting a chance in their fair breaks. Like I said, the scrutiny that even I as a director go under. It's like, if I were a guy, I wouldn't be asked how many movies have I done before. Get all the hassle of, oh my God, you know, they're untested and unproven in terms of that, or any of those other things that they do to other women directors. You know, you're not supposed to have a long IMDb list. For some reason, it's like they hold women to a different standard.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, okay, let's give her a chance. Or, you know, it's like, you know, Patty Jenkins had to fight for her position. All of these women directors had to fight for their positions. Even Sherry Lansing in her day, she said it herself. She was, and she's a brilliant woman. And by the way, I still want you on the show, Sherry Lansing. Please come on our show. I want to interview you. You would be the interview I would want most of all. Even with Sherry Lansing, she had to fight in a world of men in Hollywood to be able to be spoken, and she was the head of a studio.
Yep. You see, if Norman Lear's show, The Apple, could have come to fruition, all of this would be different.
Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't lived as long as I have, I'm referring to a show from the early mid-70s. It was a soap opera. The premise of the show was that Eve created before Adam. So women were in charge and men were the gentler sex. It was a very funny show.
It does sound it, and again, it's like I'd have to take your word for it. But in general, it's like, yeah, in terms of producers, in terms of directors, in terms of writers, women have had to prove themselves to be as far much more than men in terms of that. So then, yeah, I'm kind of excited that you know, the industry is finally turning around and saying, hey, you know, give the women their shot. Maybe, and you know what? I'm not saying that they haven't done it over the years. It's like, you know, time and again, it's like heroes and idols that we all know from the past. It's like females who have been pioneers in our industry. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, maybe it's time to give a female voice, give people of other cultures a voice. You know, for in Bollywood movies, a lot of them are directed by women. A lot of successful Bollywood movies are directed by women.
That's because everybody has to be able to learn how to dance. You need a woman for that.
You know what?
Men don't know how to dance.
Well, yeah, they're all the ones doing the dancing in the movie. And being taught by male choreographers. But it's like, yeah, it's like there's a very different system in Europe. They don't look at the women in terms of, you know, oh, well, you're a woman, why would you want to do what you know, it's the, yeah, we would like to see this point of view of a movie, we do it. North America is finally just catching up to the trend. And yet, like I said, these are one of the other shows, and I'm not getting on a feminist high horse. So what I'm just saying is that, you know, yeah, it is a good trend that's happening. Diversity in the film industry, which is another thing that we've talked about proudly, is diversity from everything of different stories of different points of view from different people of colors, as well as also different cultures. You know, we've had brilliant years of the movie industry coming up, and finally, yeah, in terms of Gender, it's like, yeah, women's voices are finally being heard in the industry. And go Wonder Woman 2, which, by the way, very interestingly, Zack Snyder was recently removed from.
I think there was a reason for that.
Yeah, he's had his own harassment charges. So again, it's one of those, whether you agree, disagree, there's been enough accusations. Again, the whole smoke and fire incident. That other director, James, I cannot remember his name.
Child died.
Ay, ay, ay.
During the filming of Justice League.
Wow.
And he tried to keep filming Justice League as a way of dealing with the It got to be too much for him. He dropped off Joss Whedon to finish off the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why he thought off of Wonder Woman 2, taking some time here.
Well, it could be that as well. But again, you know, it's like we were also talking about that today with anti-heroes and anti-people. Like, you know what? Nobody is 100% bad or 100% good in this world. There is the dark side. And we have to keep that in mind.
Yes. And we're all swayed by it, no matter how good we are.
Yep. So, on a positive holiday note, though, as we would like to deal with, would be the one topic you would want to tackle on for the new year, Olaf? Olaf.
I don't know.
Who do you want to see more kinds of guests from?
Guess more guests from the legal side.
Mm-hmm.
It's like more to expand on the, like, from the entertainment lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
Expand on that.
And ARPA, who would you love to see?
I'd like to actually see like a couple of maybe directors, writers, actors to talk about how they approach and deal with the business side of something.
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear with that as well.
I think it would give us a fresh perspective.
It would. And it's like we have a lot of people from, like I said, from Comic-Con and from AFM that we will be having as our guests as we're going along for our post-AFM shows. I think I, too, would like to see also a few more business entertainment lawyers as well. A couple more distributors also to come aboard. I think that would be great. So that being said, we're hoping that you're going to have an amazing Thanksgiving, one and all. And
what does everybody have planned?
Well, I'm making potato latkes for our family Thanksgiving because it's like everybody brings something, and that's our contribution to the table is my potato latkes.
Mmm.
And I'm even doing it on a broken foot, so
Yes.
no broken foot shall stop those potato latkes from being made.
Yes. As our listeners don't know the bad news, when you finally went to see the doctor, they discovered that there was a small bone that is still broken in your foot and hasn't set properly. And you're trapped in that boot for another 2 weeks.
Yes. My metatarsal is still healing.
Yes. Very
So,
sad.
Yes.
For myself, there is a woman in my building who lives one floor beneath me.
Mm-hmm.
She and her granddaughter are. Oh, I guess Odette or Grayson didn't care what was happening, but I'll tell you, Olaf, and you listeners, if you're still out there. But she and her granddaughter are making a huge Thanksgiving dinner for about 16 to 20 residents here in the complex. And they invited me, and I said, I don't know what my day's going to be like. It's Thanksgiving Day, but that doesn't mean I'm not working. I've got so much work to get done between now and Monday. And she's like, well, you better bring a plate to my door, and I will fill it up for you. Like,
nice.
Man.
So she will be who you will be spending the holidays with?
Well, with myself. Yeah, you didn't hear the whole story. The woman who lives floor below me, who's making her granddaughter Thanksgiving dinner for about 20 of the residents here. And she invited me, and I was like, I really don't know what my life is going to be like because I have so much to do between now and Monday that I don't know that I can take time out to be social and all that stuff. She goes, well, you better show up at my door with an empty plate and I'll just fill it up for you.
Nice. And Olaf, how is could be your Thanksgiving?
Well, I have to work part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will be at my oldest daughter's house for dinner, which will be oldest daughter, her husband, grandson, granddaughter, then my youngest daughter, and her grandson, or her son, my grandson.
Nice.
And then their mom, my ex-wife, and assistant will be there. And then their grandpa, my daughter's grandfather, which is their mother's dad.
Nice.
So be nice little dinner.
Yeah, it'll be a nice little dinner kind of thing, and be able to celebrate. Yeah, it's like for us, it's over at my mother-in-law's, so it'll be awesome to be able to do that because like it's usually just such a peaceful event. We all bring something, we all gather around the table, do nice eating things together. It's very relaxed. Nobody like argues, and there isn't that typical, mine thing. And like I said, it's tradition, the potato latkes. So I will be bringing my famous potato latkes for everybody to enjoy.
Yes.
So that
it's like of sitcoms that didn't last very long. I wonder why. But Thanksgiving episode, one of the characters say, you gotta come to my place for Thanksgiving. My family puts on a huge 8-course dinner. 9 if you count what you burp up and swallow back down later.
Yep. Pretty much. Very true. And we all hope that you in the audience have like an amazing Thanksgiving too. And full of argument-free evenings. It's like, hopefully there's no drama amongst there. Keep the drama to the television.
That's right. And keep sex on our cable channels where it belongs.
There you go. So that being said, Arpo, how do they get you in social media?
Well, if they really want to be social, they can always reach me on Facebook. If they want to talk a little business, I am on LinkedIn. If they just want to chit-chat a little bit, well, they can Skype me. I'm always happy to talk to people on Skype. But do make sure to let me know that you're a fan of Movie Time, because I get way too many marriage proposals from Armenian women and robots who are trying to steal my charge card number.
And now they're way too valuable. Damn
Well,
robots.
that's all that valuable.
Yeah, and Olaf, how do they get you in social media?
Well, you can stalk me on both Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa, but just don't stalk too close, because I do get nervous, and I do have a trigger finger.
Yeah, and with me, you can get me in on LinkedIn, Visipedia, on Facebook, on Twitter. That's Not a Grayson at Movietime Indie. You can also get me on www.pastlivesproductions.net, which, by the way, is going through a great revamp right now. So you should check out the new changes that are happening on that site. Also, as well, you can get me on, I do believe, also LinkedIn, and I did mention that as well. And like I say, with 4 pages of social media, if you cannot find me, you're just not stalking me hard enough. And I suggest that you change browsers. It's like so that you can actually find us on social media. And please feel free to sign up with us on Production Next, which is www.productionnext.com/movietime, and they will have an amazing rate for you for it. And believe me, it is worth every single chance that you get to be able to do that. And that being said, we hope that you have an incredible Thanksgiving.
And if you don't, remember, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Yep. And may it be conflict-free. The next time that you hear us, we will be coming up on our Hanukkah and / other holidays episode.
Woo!
Yeah,
and
like,
when will that be?
That will not be this Friday. This Friday, we will not be having a movie time due to the holidays, because it's like we will probably be way too stuffed and way too drunk from holidays to recover. So we will be back again on next Wednesday on our regular time. Yes. No, we will not be doing Friday this week. It's like we have way too much to have to do. And, you know, with the holidays, we really do need to have a Friday off to enjoy with all of our families.
Yes, indeed.
And from all of us at Movie Time, we love you all.
Thanks for listening.
Good night, everybody.